So, hey guys, Chauzu here. We got some big news yesterday with the I Can Do Everything I Want campaign. This campaign was announced a few days ago, but I don't know about you guys, but when I hear about a new campaign for OPTC on Twitter, I'm like, okay, cool, some free games, maybe let in ticket, but other than that, like, who cares? Like, there's never anything real big, but for the first time since I started playing, it was a legit event. Like, let's just repeat what we get. Let's assume we get all of the rewards, which is very likely since for once we actually get good stuff that will make people want to retweet and like. Like, I retweeted and liked both the global and the JP account. With my personal Twitter account, I should say, that I really use. I don't have any account on Twitter linked to my YouTube that I use or such. If you want to follow me, it's only YouTube I use, so just FYI, I guess, just so you know. But anyway, we're going to get 20 rainbow games. We're going to get one alternate pen, which is cool, one of the rarest resources. It's a pretty useless resource. Not completely useless, but personally, if I have 5 alternate pens, I can use it if the situation ever arises. I will lose all interest in the resource, if I say so. Until I get 5, I'll be pretty happy, but once I hit 5, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need anymore. But also, we get to decide a tablet to get, and it's not any tablet. We get to pick between a gold tablet, so Final Tap tablet, or Super Tandem tablet, or Rush tablet. And that's insane. I can't remember that ever happening. So basically, this turned out to be a good chance to just talk about which of those tablets is the best. Like, it's basically decided at this point. Like, last I checked, Rush tablet is in a big lead. Funnily enough, on JP, it was Final Tap tablet was not that far behind, which was pretty shocking, to me at least. And Super Tandem tablet was that last. But is that the case in reality though? I picked the Anibatch here since they went with Final Tap, Super Tandem and Rush. And basically I'd say that it's objectively clear which is the most useful and least useful. If we start with the least useful, I guess we have to start with the first just to put it on top. We can't swap out Captain after all. But I say the most powerful one of these is Super Tandem, like, easily. Second most powerful, Rush. And the least powerful, Final Tap. But why is that? But I'd say this is like, there's really no debate. In general, this is the order. And of course, there can be some exceptions if they make an incredible powerful Final Tap or an incredible powerful Rush. But let's just say that these are the base expectations. But if we talk about Final Tap first, and I say that Luffy Yamato is one of the more useful Final Taps. Like, sure, it just boosts base attack, but you do get a fairly unique buff you can stack with it, with the damage reduction attack boost. That does give extra damage, and Luffy Yamato themselves does an 80% damage reduction, so usually it's pretty worthwhile trying to fit it if you can benefit from the Final Tap. And of course, Luffy and Yamato as a Yamato unit, the only other damage reduction attack-based unit is also a Yamato, so you probably can't fit both. But in general, you want to try and fit versus Yamato if you want to do as high damage as possible. But with that in mind, we have to keep in mind that this is actually a pretty good Final Tap then, but even though it's pretty good, it doesn't add that much damage. Base attack is fine, but as I always want to try to say, base attack boost in the game, if we convert it to like a number buff, we're talking about like maybe a plus 2,000 base attack boost being maybe a 1.5 times, 1.6 times buff if we use those numerics. And of course that doesn't sound as impressive. And it's only for one unit, which is the main issue with the final tap in general. And even the damage reduction attack boost here, it's just one unit. And of course the unit hitting last does the most damage, usually. But the rest of them are hardly irrelevant. You want to do a lot of damage with at least 3 units. And if you do, then final tap doesn't really add that much damage. And the best final taps we have are those that aren't just for the only units. So Luffy Crew and the Scabbers Legend, they both can take damage that other people have used, add it to the final tap, and then we're getting a really good multiplier. Like Luffy Crew, for example, is like an over 2 times extra stackable buff. So it's the same as getting an extra 2 times attack boost, or a bit about 2 times attack boost. But of course, Luffy Crew has their own issues with captain ability being a bit low now, and unless you use them as rank captain, it's hard to fit on a team, and stuff like that. So base assumption is that final tap is not that great. I will say also that if the Gear 5 Luffy was a final tap, it would have been a very good final tap as well, because it adds pretty outrageous damage to the final tap. Usually final taps does not add that outrageous damage like they do for Gear 5 Luffy. And now let's talk Rush, and we're going to talk about Rush with Sanji as the role model. Let's assume that Gear 5 Luffy is just Bandai being weird, and that the main idea for Rush is to hit relatively early. So the idea is that you go Rush, Super Tandem, finish with final tap, and not with Gear 5 Luffy where it's Super Tandem, no final tap, Rush. Which, yeah, is one of the reasons why Gear 5 Luffy might not be that good long term for higher damage. But Rush is actually really good in terms of adding damage. Like, the actual attack boost is not that great. Here it's 1.4 times. Luffy's a bit higher, but he's selfish, so it makes sense. But you also get a lot of extra chain, and the unit hitting, like with Sanji you hit first, Sanji will actually do decent damage. Usually the unit hitting first does no damage at all. But one of the reasons why Rush Tablet is a bit less useful is the fact that level 1 Rush is not that much worse. Even level 1 Rush for both Sanji and Luffy still do add pretty good damage and are worth using. It's not like level 1 Final Tap, level 1 Super Tandem in general. They are not worth using or trying to fit, because more conditions, have to tap more, the extra damage is low. But here it's basically the same conditions. You add reasonably good damage that you can stack. So while it's good to rainbow Rush units, it's not as essential. So I still like to be like, if they're really good, I still like to rainbow them, but honestly, like, it's not a must the same way that Super Tandem is. And now we get to Super Tandem, and I find it absolutely hilarious that Super Tandem is rock bottom, where objectively it is the most valuable tablet. Like, I get it, like, if you are one of the few people like me who have basically rainbowed every Super Tandem tablet, then maybe it doesn't matter as much, but even still, I'd want a Super Tandem tablet for the future, because we know any future Super Tandem tablet, Super Sugar Fest, will probably be pretty good too. And Super Tandem tablet, as we said, at level 1, very bad. You see, start with 1.5 times, and then a Zoro level 5 goes up to 2.5 times, and also buffs existing conditionals, and also needs less units to tap with, and all of that makes a big difference, and also like more leeway in units to use in the chain and such. It's not like Super Tandem is flawless. Like, we had a condition of needing 1 Tandem orb, which can be annoying from time to time. But overall, like, out of these 3, like, Super Tandem is the most crucial to add to basically any team where you want to do meaningful damage. The others are just extra nice buffs, kind of like versus Yamato's damage reduction and stuff like that. So I say that Super Tandem and Robin are basically the only 2 that are basically required on any good, very high damage dealing team. So basically, not only that, we have a lot of good uses of Super Tandem, not just Zoro, but also Nami. The versus Yamato is not useless either. Versus Yamato is actually really good. It's just that compared to Zoro and Nami, it's worse, and often you want to use versus Yamato in the same chain. So if versus Yamato is high enough level, it's hard to use them together, which is why I keep a dupe of versus Yamato as well. And then even older ones than that, like Super Tandem Shanks, the Super Sogo Fest Dex Luffy with Super Tandem, all of them are really good and better than basically any final tap or rush that we have in the game right now. So it's actually shocking that not more people want Super Tandem tablets. Like, I get them wanting rush more, but on both global and JP, final tap was higher, and that just blows my mind. Like, on JP was like 50% for rush tablet, 35% for final tap. Super Tandem like 10% is like, what game are people playing here? It's not like everybody are whales that go and rainbow the newest Super Tandem unit. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't have one single rainbow Super Tandem unit, and like maybe they sit around with a level 4, level 3 Nami, and if that's the best you have, I'd be desperate to get a Super Tandem tablet to try and rainbow. So yeah, it's just mind-blowing because, as said, I'd say this is an objective ranking. Like, there's really nothing you can talk about. You can argue that they can make a final tap that is better. They can make a rush that is better than Super Tandem. But realistically, that won't really be the case. And it's a lot easier to make a Super Tandem even more OP, in my opinion. So yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree. Is this an objective truth, or do you have another opinion? And are you happy to get another rush tablet? I'm actually pretty happy, since we'll see, like, if Gear 5 Luffy changes the way his rush works, I'm very open to rainbowing him. But if we have this weird rush, aka final tap, I don't know. I'd like to see some change there with the 6+, then I'm all in on rainbowing Gear 5 Luffy. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.